Hi everyone, welcome to our video lesson today on 2-2 logic. We're first going to define what a statement is. A statement is just a sentence that is either true or it's false. We use a lot of statements in mathematics, especially in geometry, and we decide whether a statement is true or false. I'll just start off with a very silly example. My name is Mr. Berge. That is a sentence that is either true or else it is false. A negation is simply a statement with the opposite meaning and the opposite truth value. The symbol that we use is this squiggly sign right here. And most oftentimes, that squiggly just means the word not, because not gives it that opposite meaning and it gives it the opposite truth value that I'm going to talk about in just a second. So with my first sentence, my first statement rather, my name is Mr. Berge, if I negate that statement, or the negation of that statement is my name is not Mr. Berge. So the negation simply just really puts the word not in there, and then it gives it the opposite meaning and the opposite truth value. So what is truth value? Truth value is just saying whether it's true or whether it's false. So for my first statement, my name is indeed Mr. Berge, this is a true statement. So the negation, the opposite meaning, my name is not Mr. Berge, there's the opposite meaning, and the opposite truth value, well, my name is not Mr. Berge, that's a false statement, because my name is indeed Mr. Berge. So that's what a statement is, the negation of a statement, and its truth value. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be writing a lot of compound sentences. This is going to seem more like an English class than it is a math class. We're going to be writing a lot of sentence using sentence structure today. So here is what a compound statement is. It is two statements joined with the words and, or. So we're going to combine two parts of a sentence. Oftentimes we write that as like P and Q. P is the first sentence, and we're going to combine it with another sentence, Q. Or we're like P or Q. So that's kind of what we're doing today. The conjunction and the disjunction is using the words and or. So we're going to define that here in just a moment. But a compound statement is two statements joined with the words and or. So now let's define what a conjunction is. A conjunction is a compound statement using the word and we use this symbolism here. So this caret symbol, it almost looks like the letter A. If I just kind of put a horizontal line right there, the conjunction symbol almost looks like an A. So that is the and symbol. So when we combine two statements with a conjunction, we put and in the middle of those two statements. So then the disjunction is the other one, which is the or statement. A disjunction is a compound statement using the word or to combine two statements together. And it's used with the opposite symbol. This kind of is an arrow that points up. This is an arrow that points down. Okay? So that's the disjunction. It's a compound statement using or. Alright, let's get ready to write a lot of sentences today. I have three sentences here. Here's sentence P, or statement P, statement Q, and statement R. Okay, and we're going to use the symbolism that I've shown you. We're going to say P and Q. So you're going to write down P, a 90-degree angle is a right angle, and a segment has two endpoints, P and Q. That's what you're going to write down in your notes right now. A 90-degree angle is a right angle, and a segment has two endpoints. So as you guys are writing that down, I'm now going to talk about the truth value. In an and statement, for the whole conjunction to be true, this is a conjunction because it uses the word and. Here's the word and right here. for a conjunction to be true, both the first sentence has to be true and the second sentence has to be true. If I say something like, that person over there is wearing a green and blue shirt, in order for that statement to be true, that person's shirt has to be both green and blue. If it's just blue or just green, I'm saying a false statement if I'm saying he's wearing a blue and green shirt. When I say the word and, both parts of the statement have to be true. So, on our example with P and Q, a 90-degree angle is a right angle. That is true. A segment has two endpoints. That is also true. So, if P and Q, both parts of the statement are true, then we know that its truth value is a true statement. Okay? So P and Q, that's how you write it with the word and in between. In a conjunction, both parts of the statement have to be true for the whole statement to be true. Let's practice another one. This one says, not Q and P. So you're going to write down, a segment does not have two endpoints, and a 90-degree angle is a right angle. Okay, not Q. So here's the not Q part. A segment does not have two endpoints, and here's the word and P. A 90-degree angle is a right angle. Please write that down in your notes. If you have to pause the video, that's just fine. Do so if you need to. And now we're going to talk about its truth value. A segment does not have two endpoints. Well, that's false, because a segment does have two endpoints. A 90-degree angle is a right angle. That is a true statement. In an and statement, in a conjunction, both parts of the statement have to be true to make the whole conjunction true. So this one, if one part of the statement is false, the whole thing is false. This is a false statement. Practice another one. Here we have R and not P. So R, the sum of the measures of complementary angles is 180 degrees. And we're going to put the word and in between, not P. So not P is a 90-degree angle, is not a right angle. This negation symbol right here, you put in the word not when you do that. So that's what we're going to be writing down right now. The sum of the measures of a complementary angles is 180, and a 90-degree angle is not a right angle. Well, taking both of these sentences, both these statements, the sum of the measures of complementary angles is 90 degrees, right? Complementary means 90, supplementary means 180. So the first part of the statement is false. A 90-degree angle is not a right angle. That one is also false. Well, of course, if both parts of the statement are false, the whole statement is false. If one part is false, the whole statement is false. So certainly if both parts of the statement are false, the statement is false. This is a false statement. Here's our first or statement. Okay, this is a disjunction. It's Q or R. So here's Q. A segment has two endpoints, or R. The sum of the measures of a complementary angles is 180 degrees. That's what we'll write down right here. A segment has two endpoints. That's our Q statement. A disjunction uses this symbol, so we're going to write the word or. The sum of the measures of complementary angles is 180 degrees. Now, as you're writing this, let me explain. When I said that person is wearing a blue and green shirt, he had to be wearing both, or he had to be wearing a shirt that had both blue and green on it for my sentence to be true. Now, if I were to say that person over there is wearing a blue or green shirt, if he's wearing a blue shirt, the statement is true. If he's wearing a green shirt, the statement is true. It could be one or the other. If he's wearing a blue or green shirt, it could be both blue and green or one or the other. So in an or statement, only one part of the statement has to be true for the whole conjunction to be true. Okay? Or for the whole compound statement to be true. In this case, it's a disjunction. So a segment has two endpoints. That is true. The sum of the measures of complementary angles is 180 degrees. That is false. But in an or statement, only one part has to be true, and the whole disjunction is true. So this is a true statement. Okay? We'll practice another one here. P or Q is what this symbol is saying right here. P or Q. So P is a 90-degree angle, is a right angle, or Q, or a segment has two endpoints. Oopsies. That's the one. A 90-degree angle is a right angle, or a segment has, there we go, two endpoints. So taking this one, the first part of the statement, a 90-degree angle is a right angle, that is true. A segment has two endpoints, that is also true. In a disjunction, only one part of the statement has to be true, but if they're both true, of course the whole statement is true. So that is that one. Okay, here's a double whammy. We're saying in parentheses here, P and Q or R. So here's like the first part of my compound statement, and then here is the second part of my compound statement. So P and Q, here is P and Q, and then we're going to write or, so right here, or R. So if a 90-degree angle is a right angle and a segment has two endpoints, a 90-degree angle is a right angle, and a segment has two endpoints. So this is the first part of the sentence, first part of the statement. And then here's the word or for the disjunction, or the second part of the statement, the sum of the measures of complementary angles is 180 degrees. So in an or statement, only the first or the second part need to be true. Only half of the statement needs to be true for the whole statement to be true. So a 90-degree angle is a right angle. That is true. And a segment has two endpoints. That is true. So the first part of the statement is true. The sum of the measures of complementary angles is 180. That part is false. But that is part of the disjunction, and in a disjunction, only one part of the statement needs to be true for the whole statement to be true. So if one part of the statement is true, which it is, the whole statement, its truth value, is true. I hope that makes sense. It was a lot of writing. I hope your wrist isn't too sore today. You don't get carpal tunnel. That'd be quite a shame. We're going to finish off with completing this truth table with conjunctions and disjunctions. So like I said, if we have P and Q, remember this arrow right here, it almost looks like an A, meaning an and sign. If P is true, if the first part of the statement is true, and Q is true, the second part of the statement is true, well, in a conjunction, if both statements are true, then the whole statement is true. So please write that down in your notes. If the first part of the statement is true, but the next part is false, where'd it go? Oh dear. If the first part is true, the second part is false, then the whole thing is false. Like I said, if that person is wearing a blue and green shirt, if he's wearing a blue shirt, but he's not wearing a green shirt, then we can't say that he's wearing a blue and green shirt, so that'd be a false statement. Okay? If the first part of the statement is false, and the second part of the statement is true, again, the whole statement is false. Both parts of the statement have to be true for the whole statement to be true. And of course, if the first part of the statement is false and the second part of the statement is false, then the whole statement is going to be false. So that is our conjunction table. Now we're at our disjunction table. They're all part of compound sentences. A conjunction uses the word and. A disjunction uses the word or. So in an or statement, only one part of the statement has to be true. Either P or Q can be true for the whole statement to be true. So if they're both true, if P is Q and true, T and Q is true, rats. If P is true and Q is true, then P or Q is true. And if one part of the statement is true and the other part of the statement is false, the whole statement is still true. In an or statement, only half of the statement needs to be true for the whole sentence to be true, for the whole statement. Same thing with this one. If the first part is false but the second part is true, then the whole statement is true. But if both parts of the statement are false, then the whole sentence is false. I hope that makes sense. If you want to go through more examples tomorrow in class, that would be a great idea. If you need a little bit more examples to get you to a further understanding, please let me know and I'd love to help you out with that.